Okay, let's talk about finding a buyer. Finding a buyer is something we're going to discuss early on because you want to construct your wholesaling process with the end in mind first. And I say that because it wouldn't do you any good to go out and find a property deal today if you didn't have a buyer to come right in behind you and assign your contract over to them, and for them to take over the deal, step in your place, close the deal, and for you to make money. So the idea is for you to find a strong, solid buyer to work with so that as soon as you find a property deal, you know you have success. And so that's why we're discussing this first. You know, there's a lot of discussion in the real estate investor world, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Is it the property deal, or is it the buyer that comes first? What's the most important? And my philosophy is the most important is always the customer, because the customer is holding the money. And you know, there's no business, there's no profit, there's nothing without a customer that has money. So let's find our customer first. And finding a customer is actually pretty easy in the real estate investing business. You can go to the MLS if you're a realtor, or if you know a realtor, and pull up all of the cash transactions, because remember, you're looking for a cash buyer. All right. There are two kinds of cash buyers. I'm going to talk a little bit further in this video when we get out in the field a little bit. It's going to be kind of a video where we walk you through the process of me actually working with someone to acquire them as a good solid buyer. The two different kinds of buyers that you're going to run across is, number one, the fix and flipper, and that's the guy who is always and forever with us. They are purchase price plus rehab costs plus your fee, somewhere around 65% of the after repair value. That's where they want to be. And you could go out and get a loan like that today yourself. That's called a hard money loan, and it's just based not on your credit, it's based on the deal. And so a lot of guys that want to be fix and flippers, they can get those loans easily. They are not cheap, but they do get those loans fairly easily without personal guarantees and securities and risking anything of their personal finances. So those guys are always and forever with us. A good economy or a bad economy, it makes no difference. And you'll need to know some of those. Finding those buyers is pretty simple. All you got to do is put a fake ad up on Craigslist. I know that sounds funny, but if you put a fake ad up on Craigslist, you'll have those guys calling you and emailing you every single day. And you just basically, from there, I recommend going to getresponse.com and starting an email list campaign where you can email people. And if you use faux ads on Craigslist, you can probably sign up, your first couple dozen in the first week or two. And a lot of those will be fix and flipper guys that are all in, purchase price plus rehab costs plus your fee at somewhere around 65 to 70%. Now, the second kind of buyer that you want to know about is the buyer that is the landlord buyer, the buy and hold guy. This guy is a guy that will go as far as purchase price plus rehab costs plus your fee, somewhere around 85 to 90%. And I'm going to give you an example here in just a few minutes of somebody that reached out to me due to some of our branding here, and I recommend you do that as well. That's part of finding a buyer, is having a Facebook business page, letting people know that you're in the business, okay, that you're a wholesaler and that you buy and sell, junker properties or properties that need rehab, properties that need work. And so part of that is branding yourself, putting yourself out there, making your social media network aware that you're in the business. But once you've done that, finding a buyer is pretty simple. There are also some direct techniques, and I'll share those with you. But this landlord buyer that does 85% or 90% all in, that means purchase price plus rehab cost plus your fee. They are excellent to work with. It's easier to find them property deals, and your spreads can be bigger when you find a good deal for them, because they're willing to pay more. Okay, and the fix and flippers, like I said, they're forever and always with us. These buy and hold landlords, part of that is always with us too. But today, especially at this particular moment of recording this video, we are in a very strong, roaring economy, and the real estate market is really, really booming. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity out there to work with guys like this. So basically, that's what you're going to be looking for. You're going to identify as you speak with buyers, are they a fix and flipper at 70%, 65, 70 all in, or are they, buy and hold landlord 85, 90%? And the way you can find that is, get a cash buyer list. You're looking for a cash buyer who's bought in the last 6 months in his own name. And if you can get a realtor to give you the MLS information for your market area, or you can actually go to FreedomSoft. I signed up for FreedomSoft, and they'll give you access to your cash buyers list in your market for the last 6 months. And I think they even have a 14-day free trial. I recommend trying them out at least for a couple weeks, and it'll at least help you get grounded, get some information, get some training from them too as well. But you'll also get access to a cash buyers list. And then take that list and go over to reiskip.com and pay somebody a couple $100 to skip trace all of them. In my current market, in 6 months, there was about 650 names to skip trace. They skip traced them, and then it's just a matter of either call blasting them, texting them, or call blasting them, or mass texting them, or just sitting down and calling them and talking with them. And in this case, that is one direct way to go get it done. And I recommend that if you have not had any time invested in establishing a Facebook page or any kind of social network or social marketing. What I would do is I would start letting everyone know, posting that I have started a real estate wholesaler business, and that I have a dedicated buyer program, and where I will work, me and my acquisitions team, exclusively to meet your needs. If you qualify for our program and there's no fees, just a great way to get property deals. I'm going to give you an example of the verbiage that I use and a conversation that I'm having at this present time in my business with a potential buyer. So with that being said, you're gonna have your fix and flippers, you're gonna have your getresponse.com email blasting system. You need to set something up like that. It might be MailChimp, that's free. Okay, doesn't matter, but you need to be able to store these people so you can email them property deals when you get them. Okay, and then you're also going to work to find that one buyer. And this is when you're going to start looking for property deals, when you find that one buyer that is a buy and hold landlord that's 85-90% all in. That means purchase price plus rehab costs plus your fee. And when you find them, then you're going to get to work immediately and source them a property deal, and your life is never going to be the same. So that's pretty much how it works. That's real simple. It's going to take you a little bit to find that buyer, but this is the most important step, so do not shortcut this step. Please find this dedicated buyer for yourself, for your business, for your family, for your future before you step out trying to find a property deal, because what are you going to do with a property deal if you find it and you don't have a buyer anyway? Okay, that happens a lot in my market, and guys bring me property deals because they don't have a buyer yet, and they bring me a property deal they found, and then we get to split it because I do have buyers. So it makes a lot of sense for me. I co-wholesale a lot of deals that way. So my point is this: it is very important, if you have a buyer, if you have a dedicated buyer or a few dedicated buyers, and you have a buyer's list and an email, you are head and shoulders above. You are way ahead of the game, and you're beating the pants off the competition. So here I have a dedicated buyer packet that I've put together. It is available for download right below the video here. You'll want to take that and customize it yourself. You can see I've added a cover page for mine and called it the Dedicated Buyer Program 2018. Inside that, you'll find basically a chart that you can fill in the blanks, get all of your buyer's information, the property that they desire, what's that look like, that information, and rehab budget preferences. And then on the second page there of those notes, you can take notes, and you can also get specific zip codes. I highly recommend that as well. So there are two kinds of buyers that you as a wholesaler need to be very aware of. And as a wholesaler, these two kinds of buyers are, number one, the fix and flipper guy. The fix and flipper guy, he's the guy that usually gets hard money or some kind of a loan to buy houses, fix them, and sell them later. Those guys are forever and always with us. In good economy, bad economy, it doesn't matter. Those guys are typically at 65 or 75% all in. And that means purchase price plus rehab cost plus your fee. So, 65 to 70%, you could be doing these deals yourself. You can find that same money with no strings attached, really. And very simple. The deal itself is the collateral. So, no credit, bad credit. A lot of people can get loans like that. So those guys are always with us, always, no matter what. The buyer that you really want to be aware of, though, and you're going to need relationships with some of those guys, some of those fix and flip guys, some of those 70%ers. Sometimes they'll go 75 all in. But the guy you really need to be aware of is the landlord buyer. And that is the buyer that will pay 85% all in, purchase price plus rehab, 90%, sometimes even closer to retail, okay? And those guys there are buy and hold usually. Usually they will buy the property, they'll put a little bit of work into it, and then they'll rent it out. And usually they go by the 1% rule, which means that if it's a $100,000 house after repair value, they need to be able to make $1,000 a month on the rent each month, or bring in $1,000 a month. So that's kind of the two buyers that you need to be aware of. The first buyer will wear you out. If that's the only buyer you have is the fix and flipper guy, they will wear you out, and it will be hard to find consistent deals for these folks. You'll still do business, you'll still make money off these guys from time to time, but it'll be hard to stay consistent. If you want to stay consistent, then find yourself some of those buyers that'll do 85% or better, that are the buy and hold landlords that are looking to do repairs, fix up the place, rent it out, and make decent cash flow. And you can find those buyers, and in fact, I'm going to give you an example of one that's happening for me in my business right now. I'm going to show you an email that we got from a potential buyer like this, and kind of show you how I work with one. But this is how you find a really great buyer for your property deals. So anyway, let's cut to that email now. So just to give you some insights, this is an email that I received from a potential buyer who saw some of my online marketing. Actually, I believe it was Facebook. I have a Facebook business page. Found me there, sent me an email, and told me they wanted to be added to my buyers list. And my response was this, and maybe this will, shed some light on the conversation a bit that you'll be having with these great buyers. I said, yes, I understand you want to be added to my buyers list. As a wholesaler, I have a buyer program I've launched a while back for frequent and regular buyers like you guys. I'm making an assumption here. I said, I call it my dedicated buyer program. Basically, we use our acquisitions team, which is me and my guys, right, my partners here, to work. It could be just you, but that's fine. Just say you're a team. Our acquisitions team works exclusively for your needs. Pretty simple program and seems effective. I think we could be a great source of deals for you. How many deals per month? And he sent back, he sent back an email because I said we currently work with buyers in our dedicated buyer program that are picking up 1 to 4 deals a month. Okay, I'm telling him what I'm looking for as well. Okay, because that's a professional. We're negotiating here to see if we fit well. His response was 4 is actually where we want to be. 4 per month, 4 deals per month. People, we shoot for 1 a week and are on track for it that right now. So they're growing. This is a young company growing, a growing business, an investment business. They buy real estate. And then he says, are there any costs associated with this program? He's talking about my dedicated buyer program. He says, now, when would be a good time to discuss this? I said, there are no costs, only that earnest money. We asked for $2,500 down. And I said, if any of that sounds good, let me know. Now, if this guy had been a fix and flipper looking for 70% all in, I would have just said, okay, I'll add you to my buyers list. As it turns out, I did converse a little longer with this gentleman, and he is an 85% all-in purchase price plus rehab costs, and that's going to be a great buyer for me. And he's looking for 4 deals a month, and he's willing to put $2,500 down each deal. Even better. So the last thing I said was, if any of this sounds good, let me know a good time to chat. And sure enough, he got back with me and said it does sound good, and he gave me a couple options. I said 2 o'clock works, or we could meet for coffee in the morning at 9 a.m., which is exactly where I'm going right now. So, I have my dedicated buyer packet. Got a little business card, and this is basically the information that's below the video. I printed it out so I can take it with me to the coffee shop, because my goal is to build a relationship with this buyer and to get as much information about what they're looking for as I can. I already know they're going to put $2,500 earnest money down. That means I can make money on day one. If I only put down $500 on a deal these guys want, I put down $500, they give me $2,500, I just made $2,000. Even if the deal never closes. Okay, pretty smart. So that's why I invented the dedicated buyer program, because I wanted repeat cash buyers. Also, this gentleman told me on the email that he sent me that he is a landlord buyer and he's looking at having 15% equity on the deal, which means that he's an 85% purchase price and rehab cost kind of guy. Incredible. I'm on my way to have coffee with him right now because I want this guy to love me. I want this guy to want to do business with me, and I want to make deals work with this guy. This is the kind of guy you're looking for. He's not just a fix and flipper. He's somebody willing to go 85% all in, purchase price plus rehab costs. I'm going to get my buyer information form filled out on this guy. I'm going to make him a dedicated buyer, and we're going to move forward. Our team is going to get moving forward, looking specifically for deals for this guy to buy for a month. At $10,000 assignment fee, profits per deal, that's $40,000 a month from this one buyer, potentially. Okay, you see the difference it makes? All right. So the meeting with my prospective buyer went swimmingly, went very well, and now I have an exact idea of what it is that he's looking for a month. I know how much money he needs, what the numbers need to look like, and what the property needs to look like, and what all his needs are. I found out where he wants to close up, what title company. We talked about all of that. We talked about everything that I could think about, and I got a clear picture of what this man needs. And so now I want you to go and do the same thing and find a buyer that you can serve like this. One buyer like this. This is potential $40,000 a month in income. One buyer like this can change your life, and you can do this.